Courtesy of David Sandel I, didnt purposely set out to live a minimalistic lifestyle. I didnt reach some kind of breaking point or encounter any life-changing event that I wasn't fully in control of. It just kind of happened. As crazy as it sounds, I just felt like living in a van. Since there's not a ton of room in a van and storage units aren't cheap, it made sense to get rid of much stuff as I possibly could. Consumerism overload. In 2008, I owned a house and a duplex. Didnt in 2008 my house was fully furnished and filled with more stuff than I really needed: seasonal decorations, 2 chest freezers, 2 TVs, both with surround sound, and kitchen electronics that only serve one purpose. I also had a boatload of tools and equipment to maintain both properties, including things for aesthetic maintenance: garden hoses, lawn sprinklers, flower pots, paint cans, just random stuff. Fast forward to 2015. The only possessions I had left fit into my van and a 4x5x7 corner in my friend's garage. I have never had less stuff and been more happy. Courtesy of David Sandel, less stuff, more freedom. While living out of a backpack in Thailand for 3.5 months in 2015, I met my current girlfriend, a Spanish citizen. Since then, I've grown quite fond of her and I'm currently living in Spain. As with living in a van or out of a backpack, the minimalist lifestyle has been advantageous because I've been able to move all the stuff I really need to Spain in just 2 checked bags and 2 carry-ons. This includes essentials like clothing, my computer, camera gear, and backpacking and rock climbing gear, pretty much my entire online business. My girlfriend and I share beliefs about not owning stuff because we both work remotely. We can easily pack our suitcases and head back to my van in the US, or anywhere else in the world for that matter. For a while, we were living in a small flat in Madrid with 2 other roommates. Then, we moved to a pretty large house all to ourselves 4 hours north of the city. And now we're learning how difficult it is not to acquire stuff, even with both of us intentionally trying to live more simply. Stuff just happens. We don't live on a farm in the Spanish countryside yet, so we rely on a grocery store like most other people. If we wanted to save money, eat healthier, and reduce our plastic footprint, we could make food products ourselves, like bread, sauces, pasta, and canned food, but producing those things for ourselves also requires additional stuff. We don't have a bread pan or a rolling pin, much less storage jars, a canner, a food processor, or a dehydrator. Any one of those items alone won't really add that much to the amount of stuff we own, but if we were to buy all of them, we would be accumulating quite a bit more stuff. Courtesy of David Sandel, living simply doesn't necessarily mean less stuff. There is space in the backyard for a small garden. Starting a garden from scratch requires a lot of time, money, and commitment in the first year. As well as, again, a lot more stuff. There's no getting around needing shovels, rakes, hand tools, trellises or cages, watering cans, wires, and other small items that add up quickly. If we decide not to plant a real garden, maybe we'll fill the space with potted plants. But you can't have potted plants without pots and store-bought potting soil. Courtesy of David Sandel, The Minimalist's Dilemma. I've discovered that if you're living a minimalistic life, whether by accident or because you've reached some kind of consumerism threshold, you have to define what that is for yourself. For us, it's not necessarily the amount of stuff we own, but the amount of things we can do with our stuff to make us happy. For other people, it is entirely about reducing the number of items they own. Within the minimalism community, people will argue which one is better, worse, or more pure. I've come to believe that both options lead to less impact, less reliance, more connection, and greater happiness. What we made of it: we don't live with less stuff for the explicit reason of less stuff. We just want a smaller footprint on the world and to depend less on huge stores. If that means we have to acquire more stuff to live a more nature-based lifestyle, so be it. If something adds true value to our lives and has multiple uses, we're definitely not opposed to buying it or buying what is needed to make it ourselves. The rub, while defining minimalism like this, is that you really have to be strict and hold yourself accountable when deciding if something adds true value. Even if we do someday grow a garden, fill our terraces with planters, or buy all the food preservation items I listed above, our overall lifestyle is still less and more simple. And believe it or not, despite truly not owning that much stuff right now, we still look around the house some days and say, we need to get rid of more. David Sandel is a full-time, freelance writer, digital marketer, and influencer for the travel and outdoor industries after quitting a comfortable job as an engineer for 9 years. He currently lives in Spain, where he helps solopreneurs launch online businesses, and others, achieve a life of location independence. To follow his stories or contact him directly, sign up for more information or follow along on Instagram.